The Jamaican government is paving the way for suitably qualified venture capitalists to help local entrepreneurs with equity financing. On May 10, 2011, Prime Minister Bruce Golding announced that the government would be setting up the legal framework to encourage the proliferation of venture capitalists to help startups and other small and medium-sized businesses. Prime Minister Bruce Golding was delivering his closing remarks in the 2011-2012 Jamaican budget debate.
It will involve certain fiscal arrangements because you have to set it up in such a way that it will attract investors. What we are putting in place, the framework, and what we want to see emerge from that is several venture capital funds. So an insurance company may want to set up a venture capital fund. A group of investors may get together and want to set up a venture capital fund. We are having discussions with the stock exchange because we see a linkage there. What we want is to, in the same way that insurance companies have so many different products. The only one that I haven't heard them announce yet is life after death. But they have all sorts of products and they give them all sorts of names. What we have in mind is that funds will now be mobilized for venture capital financing. They will be managed by professionals. This is not government trying to do that. We are simply setting up the framework. Businesses that require startup capital or capital to expand will then be able to offer shares in their business in return for the capital investment that they need. It provides several advantages, Mr. Speaker. Businesses will be able to secure capital without being burdened by debt. The venture capital fund will, through its shareholding and directorship, bring added capability in overseeing the affairs of the business, which is something that many small businesses suffer from. And it will offer valuable linkages with other businesses in which that venture capital fund might also have investment.
However, the Prime Minister warned that the advent of venture capitalists would require a cultural shift in thinking among some small and medium-sized business operators, chief of which is proper accounting.
Many of us are inclined to treat our businesses as sole proprietorships, even when we register them as registered companies. We are often unwilling to recognize that we and the company are two separate entities. Many of us practice this business where we commingle our personal expenses and the business's expenses. So we work with one checkbook, the company checkbook. And it pays the company's bills, but it pays some other bills as well. We don't keep proper accounts. We don't do proper audits. If a company is going to be eligible for financing, but for venture capital financing, it is going to have to meet due diligence tests. And companies are going to have to be conducted in a business-like way in order to qualify. As I said before, it is not the government that will be providing these venture funds, although let me say this, the DBJ has not ruled out providing some funds as an investment to get the process going. And they are right now seeking to mobilize some private investors to create the first venture capital fund in which the DBJ would invest as a means of encouraging it to go on. One of the rules that they said that is likely to be imposed is to require the company that is the subject of venture capital funding to give an undertaking to list on the junior stock exchange within 2 to 4 years, because you want to get that sort of networking of investors and marry them with companies that, if they get some capital injection, can expand and grow and create jobs.
Good news there for small and medium-sized businesses. For Business Content Jamaica, I'm Owen James.